Okay, small business owner, you have 700 tabs open, you are stressed and maybe running around like a chicken with no head. You are overwhelmed, friend, and we are going to help you out. Why? Because we know what it's like to be overwhelmed with a to-do list that grows fangs and never seems to get completed because you're digging away with a tiny spoon. I'm Janae.
And I'm Brooke, and this is the Big Bad Marketing Podcast. We are two women running a business who know what it's like to build something from the ground up. And in this episode, we are going to take you in the next 30 minutes from being totally overwhelmed by how to market your business to being perfectly clear on your next three most important steps.
So, if you are ready to stop the stress and get your shit together, let's
Let's
do
do
this.
this.
Okay, so business owner being overwhelmed is super normal if you are a solopreneur and you're running the whole thing on your own, or even if you have a team, you are managing, you are the ringleader, you're supposed to like know what's going to happen all the time, what the next steps are, and sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, sometimes there are so many competing priorities that it becomes impossible to know what you should be doing next. And that's made even more difficult by the fact that there are emails and Slack messages and text messages and phone calls happening to interrupt your day and the push notifications from all the apps. And then you're scrolling on social and you're constantly context switching that by the time you're like, okay, I have the next 30 minutes free and open. What am I going to do? It's, go ahead.
Yeah. And then you're busy and you don't get anything done or feel like anything's accomplished because of that, because you're like, oh, I found myself with 30 minutes. What should I do? And at least for me, that's how it manifests is like the speed of my thoughts kicks up and I pull out the list and I'm like overwhelmed by the amount of different things on that list. I have yet to learn to juggle balls. I've learned to juggle some different priorities and figure out like what is on fire and what needs to get done. But I think today, Brooke, the episode and right now, what we're talking about, listener, the idea is to get out of that survivor mode where you're just like, what's on fire? What do I need to get done right now? What can I solve right now? And be more mindful and be in a slower pace that is proactive and really helps you be organized. So you're no longer overwhelmed, but you're really clear on what's going to happen. And then you can take the appropriate steps to get those things done.
Yeah, and I know that I've mentioned this before. My default is to do the things that I find the easiest or the most interesting and exciting, the most fun. So when I get an empty 30 minutes on my schedule suddenly or a meeting gets canceled, I opt to start with those things, but most of the time, unfortunately, those are not the things that are going to be the true revenue drivers for our business. They're just the things that I think are enjoyable.
Oh, I love that, Brooke. And okay, listener, in a minute, we're going to give you 7 ways to reduce your overwhelm so you can run your business like a bad boss, like a big bad boss, like a good boss is what I'm trying to say. But Brooke, tell us more about that experience of when you have free time and you jump into doing something that's fun. Give us first an example. What is fun when you're like, "No, I have time. I'm going to do this."
Okay. And the nerdy part of me is definitely
Oh.
coming out, but I will be like, we need to create a new lead magnet. I'm going to go develop okay, real talk, did this recently. Like, this might not be the most important thing, but I don't super love our lead magnet. So let's go develop a quiz. And then with that, let's develop all of the email automations for each of the types of results that somebody might potentially get. And it's those types of things that I like to put together puzzles in business. And that
Mhm.
is one of my superpowers. And so, because I enjoy that so much, I know that the lead magnet isn't the next most important thing, and I should be following up with people and
Are
doing
you shitting on
targeted.
yourself?
I am totally shutting on myself. But if I get my to-do list super clear and I understand what my next 3 moves are, that makes everything else easier and I don't fall
Yeah.
into the things that I really like to do more.
Okay. Well, what I want to say is for all our woo-woo listeners, you are following the protocol that Bashar, the medium, suggests, which is
Oh,
always at every moment to do the thing that most excites you. Like what is most drawing you in? That's where flow lives. That's where like presence and dare I say joy live. But as a practical business owner, I think that we both understand that doing what's joyful and fun and like most exciting for our little creative inner child thing, like that's not always practical. And in that moment, maybe we needed to write an email newsletter, we needed to follow up with a client, or perhaps paramount is taking the steps that lead to generating revenue. Like that might have been a good moment to follow up with leads that we had sent emails 2 weeks ago and it was just time to circle back. So, business owner listening, I think the whole point here is like, yes, make time to do those creative things. And also, Brooke, we needed a new lead magnet. Like that was totally on our strategic priority list. Maybe it wasn't like the very next most important tiny task to get done, but I thank you for doing that.
well, thank you for acknowledging that. And yeah, I agree. It was in the top 10 for sure, but I don't know that at the time it was in the top 3. So, Janae, let's dive in and start to talk through the steps of how to find that top 3 when overwhelm is taking over and your brain is in a million different places. What is step 1?
Number one is going to be do a brain dump. That means you literally write down everything from your head onto a piece of paper, onto your computer, onto your notes app, wherever everything that needs to get done lives, get it out of there and into the ethers. That way, you might be able to prioritize and reorganize them. You might be able to figure out what is a waste of time and what is a good use of time instead of being in that place where I always feel stuck, which is like, oh, it's I'm spinning and I have 12 minutes right now, and now I'm just going to start making a social media post when like, is that really important? Probably not.
Yeah. So the thing I love about the brain dump, and that's all we're asking you to do right now, is set aside 15 minutes, put away your phone, close your laptop. I love to do this pen to
Unless you're writing
paper.
on those things, in
Unless,
which case
unless,
pull them out.
yeah, right, exactly. I would encourage you to do this pen and paper if you can. 15-minute timer, everything comes out. All of the shoulds, when you're shoulding all over yourself in the back of your mind and you're like, well, we should get a new email automation set up. We should update that drip campaign. We should go through and update all of our blog posts. We should be recording more podcasts. Like everything that is piling up in the should section of your brain, put that down in your brain dump. All the small administrative stuff that you don't want to do, but you know you have to do, the payroll you need to run, the estimated quarterly taxes you need to pay, the appointment you need to make with your CPA, like everything comes out here. And don't forget to include your big dreams and your future visions. Like we need to get to a place where on social media we're posting 3 reels a week or, you know, anything. Again, that's probably on the should section, but I encourage you to think bigger about this and dump literally everything. No judgment, nothing is off limits. All you are doing in this 15-minute block is putting everything from the tabs in your brain, go tab by tab, put it out on the paper, close out the tab in your brain.
Oh, I love that. I love that visual. The visual I was thinking of was like, imagine picking up your head off of your shoulders and turning it on its side and shaking it out. So all the stuff comes out. And
Yeah.
as a business owner, you have the liberty also to write down personal stuff because sometimes I'm in the middle of my workday and a thought comes through of like, oh my God, I forgot to do this thing, like buy milk at the grocery store or add it to my grocery list or whatever. And then I get distracted by that, right? So this is your opportunity to just get it all out of your head. Nothing is off limits. I love how you said that, Brooke, like no judgment. And this is a good place. I'm thinking like maybe it's TMI, but my to-do list is like in quadrants where it's just like my personal stuff, my work stuff, my this stuff, my that stuff. So that at any point during the day, when those little loose stragglers come up in my brain and I shake it out, I have a nice, easy place to put it and I know where I can keep track of it.
Yeah. And it's so funny you say that because I do the exact same thing. I have my client work in one section of my to-do
There you
list. I
go.
have our
Yes.
internal big bad marketing work in another section, and I have my personal stuff and my random stuff in another section. And I still
Okay,
need
but
to replace the battery in my favorite watch, and that's been a couple months on my to-do list. Clearly not important or urgent though.
Mm. Okay, but do you have a section or a ongoing bullet point there, which is pet the doggies?
No, because that one
Doggy
I don't
pet.
even need on my to-do list because I do it
Oh,
naturally. There's always time for a belly rub.
oh,
Very
yeah,
important life
baby.
lesson. Yeah.
Yes. And hey, business owner, listener, if you're getting something out of this podcast, go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. It's at www.bigbadmarketing.com/newsletter. And we share all kinds of lists, tactics, strategies, plans to grow your business, free templates. And just by signing up, you get a couple of free templates. So we would love to see you there. Go ahead and sign up, and then you will ongoing be part of growing your business.
Yes, and getting hot tips to help you do it. So, first step, brain dump. You're going to get everything out 15 minutes. I'm going to give you an optional but awesome step 2 here. If you can, go for a walk. You have just put a lot of things out of your brain, and
Oh,
getting a little movement in your body, some deep breathing, being outside if you can, get some sunshine. Better yet, if you have the opportunity to just sleep on this, like do this last thing at night before you go to bed with a clear mind, wake
hmm.
up clear and move into step 3, but put a little distance between what you've just done in the brain dump and coming back to it for step 3, which we're going to get into now, which is to categorize things. But there's just something about taking that little bit of mental space that I think helps you come back with such clarity.
Yes, I resonate with this a lot. This is like do a task and then step away from it and be embodied in some other way. I love how you're saying like you already emptied your brain. I'm literally like imagining, okay, I took my head off my shoulders, I shook it out, all the things came out. Now I'm just going to sit for a little while and meditate,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to do some yoga, or I'm going to do one of those. I think I shared this in an email newsletter before of ours, but like do one of those shakeout Tai Chi things where you like just change the vibe of your being for a minute and reset yourself. And I love also get all do this at night, and then in the morning you already have your whole list ready. You don't have to be like, "Oh no, I forgot this thing, I forgot that thing." Like there's so much neuroscience behind that. And even in terms of meditation, like they say before you sit to meditate, go ahead and just like tidy up your space. Even if it's clean already, like even if there's not really anything to tidy, just the motion of like trying to create a space and an energy around you that is in the essence of tidying and clearing up, that helps set the stage for your brain to actually drop into meditation. So, same thing here for business. Like, get all this stuff out of your brain, clean it up in there, and then take a moment. Love it.
Yes, love it. Give yourself that space. So then when you come back into step 3, you are going to categorize everything. So just kind of like we talked about, you got your work, you got your internal work for your business, you got your personal stuff. You are going to, off the bat, eliminate anything that is a duplicate, anything that overlaps, and then you're going to bunch together the like things. So, for example, all of your plans for social media, all of those posts you need to create, all of those big ideas you have, or the other platforms you want to be on. That can go into one bucket. Anything to do with your emails can go into another bucket. That,
Hmm.
I want to create a postcard and drop it off at the local coffee shop. I need to take my business cards to the chiropractor. Like those, any type of physical collateral you need to create can go into another bucket. So all you're doing right now is just categorizing. And so you're taking your existing list, maybe you're rewriting it into a new list or doing a little copy pasting if you're doing it on your computer. But all you want from this is to have a subset of categories, maybe say no more than 10 categories. 7 to 10 might be
That sounds like a lot.
realistic. Okay, maybe 5 if you
No, you're right.
can.
I'm like, I have that many, and that sounds like I understand why we're overwhelmed all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So, Janae, after we categorize, what do we then do?
Yeah, it's time to put those things in order of importance, also known as prioritize. So, Brooke, something you say all the time is priority was never meant to be plural. in terms of like priorities. Like there should just be one. That should be a big old number one at the top of the list. And we also always say that your number one thing should always be revenue generating.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends a little bit on your stage of business because also keeping your customers happy is also like if it's not equal to that, it's above that. So yeah. But the point here is to list those categories in order of the most important. And then guess what? All you have to do is start making your way down that list.
Yes. And we like to when we prioritize anything. I know we say priority was never meant to be plural and totally agree with that. So there's always one most important thing at the top, but what we
Make
want you
stickers of
to
your dog.
do, yes, but what we want you to do as you prioritize is cap it at 3 total tasks. So you have your most important thing and then number 2 and number 3. And so these are your when you look at this list of 3, you're going to be able to say an unequivocal, these 3 things are the most important for me to work on for my business, period, end of story.
Yeah. That's, and it really can be that simple because I think when you're running a business, you know that there's no real business hours. You just work all the time. And you can be, if you're like me, you like to do work at 2 in the morning. If you're like Brooke, maybe it's more like a normal human hour of 7 a.m.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, there's no fixed time. You're doing your own thing. You're just building. You are the business. So it's also equally important for your brain reset to do those priorities and then stop and don't keep going because the urge to just get stuff done will always be there.
Yes. So, how can we resist that urge to just keep going once we have those top 3 priorities?
Do them and then stop. Reward
Yeah.
yourself. Take a pause. Do that thing where what we just said, like be embodied, take a walk, do some yoga, have like a stop button. A friend of mine used to, who would work from home, would air quotes commute to work, and they would go for a walk around the neighborhood and then start working. And then at the end of the workday, go for a walk around the neighborhood and then stop working. And that was like a an energetic boundary around their day so that it wasn't like I just live at work and work at life and everything is blurred together.
Yeah, agree. And what I like to do is physically put the rest of the list away. Like put it somewhere that is out of sight and out of mind so that the only thing on your desk is your top 3 priorities. That
Yeah.
can be
Yeah,
very
yeah.
powerful.
I think it's easier said than done. For me, that's been a challenge because then I come back to my to-do list that has all these other buttons and doohickeys and like bullets and floating thoughts on it. But I think the important piece here is to have limits and be clear about what they are.
Yeah. And I think too, obviously, when you have different lists, right? And you're like, okay, this is my personal list. You're probably not tackling that during your working hours, right? You're probably doing those things in the evening, on the weekend, during the time that you might, go sit down for lunch and maybe eat a food item if you're not insanely busy. But the the point of these top 3 business items that are the most important to move the needle for your business is that when you get that block of time, when you get that 30 minutes or the
Mm-hmm.
hour or the 2 hours to do marketing for your business, like that's what you're working on. So when you
Yeah.
have that on your desk and you say, I have time, I'm always going to start with my most important thing. That's
I
where we
love
want to
that.
get you to.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely valid and important. And that helps you avoid the situation where you're like, I have 30 minutes. I'm going to make a new spreadsheet. I'm going to go design a graphic. I'm going to redesign our logo. Like
That's a
how
popular
easy it is
one.
to fall into these traps. Okay, here is one that I think is a little bit of a hot take, and this would be number 7 on our list of you're overwhelmed small business owner. Here's what you should do. I think you should do less. That's my hot take. I don't know where you stand on that one, Brooke.
I love it. Say more.
Okay, this is like You're probably overwhelmed because you put a lot of things like me on and Brooke, like you put a lot of things on your list that aren't totally necessary or top priority or important right now. Maybe you're like, you've set up your business systems so that you post every day on Instagram and every other day on Facebook, and you're constantly making new TikTok reels. And you also said, I'm going to send a newsletter every week. And you're trying to run your business and go to networking events and satisfy your clients. And then also you like you're a human being, so you probably need to eat and sleep and like clean your living space and things like that. So the point is you're maybe doing too much. I know I have felt that many times, and there's also something really important to be said about falling into the busy trap. And you're like, I'm really busy, but you're busy doing like busy work instead of doing things that are, drum roll, the priorities that you have figured out strategically what they are. So it's not a surprise to me that you're me, that I'm speaking in my own experience. It's not a surprise that I'm overwhelmed and stressed when I'm just running around feeling busy instead of doing the things that are the most important.
Yeah, and maybe a hot take. Busy to me means that there is a lack of clarity. It means that I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to do all these things because I don't actually know what I should be doing and I'm not clear on what's most important. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to do when I could be more impactful being less busy, doing less, but spending that important time on the most important thing.
Yes. And I think that's where this number seven hot take item of like do less, fam, is literally to do less, to like close up one of your social media accounts, or at least just like take a nice hiatus, slim down the mental internal commitment you've made to run 4 newsletters a month, right? Like observe where you're overextending and it's not even having the ROI, the return on your effort that you want, the ROE. Did I just make up a new acronym? Like because it's okay if you realize you got a little overzealous and you agreed to do too much and you're saying, "Hey, okay, I tried that. It's not working. Let me do less things and figure out what are the most important things to do." And Brooke, I would love to resurface something we talk about time and time again, which is the Eisenhower matrix, which fits into this list of like, how do you prioritize? How do you figure out what are the most important things to focus on, what to do now, and what to just not do because it's just not important?
Yeah. And I think we either have an episode about the Eisenhower matrix or I think we put something on social media about it. So this is definitely something that we try to use for our business as well, but
I
it
love Eisenhower.
yes, but it really helps us get clear on what is absolutely necessary and what we can eventually outsource and delegate and the things that we should never actually be doing in the first place. So, Janae, can you quickly just take us through the 4 quadrants of the Eisenhower matrix and how
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
define? Yeah.
So it's a little graph, it's a quadrant graph. So you have urgent running across horizontally and you have important running vertically. And so you can classify these things into, is it urgent or is it not urgent? Is it important or is it not important? So you get one category, which is it's important and it's urgent, which means that is your priority. That is do it now. That is the most important things, if you feel things fall into that category. But that's just like, boom, we figured it out. The next one over to the right is going to be it's not urgent, so there's less of a time demand on it, but it is important. And those items we're going to schedule. We're going to put them on the calendar. And that way, as time goes by, we're going to get to it because we know and have acknowledged it is really important. I just didn't need to do that today. It's not on fire. On the other side of the horizontal axis, the y axis, look at me being all mathy.
I think it's the
We
x
have
axis.
x-axis. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I am not mathy. I thought when you said before you got excited and creative and you were like, I wanted to make a new lead magnet, I thought you were going to say, I want to make a new spreadsheet.
Well, that wouldn't be surprising either.
Also high on your list. Okay. On the other side of the horizontal line, how about that? On the
Beautiful.
bottom of the quadrants, we have things that are not important. So if you have something that's not important, but it's still urgent, like it needs to be done now. That's your box for delegating. And we're going to actually hit that as a bonus eighth item on our list today of how to be unoverwhelmed is through tools and delegating. But that's the place where you can say, hey, this is important. This is not important, but it does need to get done. And you find someone who has the skills to do it, and then they do it. Last box is going to be, we never do this. We're going to take this off the list. It's not important and it's not urgent. Bye bye. Don't waste your time with it.
Yes, love that. And
Ba-da-ba.
such an easy way to frame. And I mean, what's funny about it is the first time that I ever did the Eisenhower matrix, I thought to myself, there's no way everything's going to fit in one of these four quadrants. But sure enough, everything does. So you can
Oh, yeah.
take that brain dump in step one to your Eisenhower matrix, and I guarantee everything is going to fit in one of those four buckets. And that can be a really effective way to help you understand what needs your attention versus what you can potentially delegate and outsource to other people. So, Janae, step us through quickly just how we might be able to think about delegating, outsourcing, automating to help make our lives simpler.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why this kind of lands as like our last option and more of an honorable mention than anything that's actually like going to make you less overwhelmed at this moment is if you have items that someone else is equipped to do because they're either better at it than you or your time would be better used doing something else, go for it. This is having different systems in place so you can outsource, meaning hire someone to do it. If you can find a tool and automate it so you can do it one time and not think about it every day and have that time suck and that context switching that you were talking about, Brooke. The idea here is to make your life simpler. And the truth is, even if you are running this business on a shoestring and you have very limited budgets to make things happen, there's still options for you. So we love Fiverr. What's the other one? Upwork.
Upwork.
So these are like networks where you can find folks all around the world who have super skills in different areas. For me personally, I love using Fiverr and Upwork to find someone to make graphics. I can spend hours in Canva trying to design a graphic and I'm still not happy with it. Why? Because I am not a graphic designer. I have no expertise in that. Like, yeah, I have fun being like, look at this color. Oh my God, let's make it opaque, whatever. But oh, this font is pretty. But the point is, like, someone else can do that task, even if it costs some money. It's more worth my time. Like the cost benefit analysis of having someone whose superpower is that and getting it done efficiently, and me being able to use my superpower on something else is invaluable. It's so necessary. So even if you have a really small budget, this is a great way to maximize your efficiency in running your business by freeing up your own time.
Yeah, love that. You have to fight for simplicity in your business. Nobody's going to do it for you. In fact, everybody is going to regularly work against you to put more things on your plate. And especially, business owner, when it comes to doing your own marketing, you have to carve out the time. And this prioritization process and understanding the most important thing to do next can really help. But juggling too many things, trying to do it all, is just a recipe for disaster. You will crash and burn, and it will not be good for anybody, especially not your business
Ooh,
or your clients.
especially.
Yeah.
And I think a really good takeaway here as we wrap up is like your business is an organism, it's a growing entity, it's like a live document, so to speak. And you can never be finished with it because it's always growing, changing, new variables come into play, new leads, new clients, new demands, new team members, new needs all the time. So, acknowledging that you can never complete the list, like the to do list is never meant to really be completed, is a good mindset shift, I think, as we approach how to be less overwhelmed. Acknowledge that I'm never going to get everything done, and that's okay. Because if everything's done, you're dead.
Right. And I recently read a book about productivity that completely changed my mindset and how I think about things in my life. Like it literally was like a life altering read for me. I read it twice in a row. Um, it is called 4,000 Weeks Time Management for Mortals. And It is,
Is that
it
the
is
Oliver Buckman?
Berkman. Yeah.
Berkman.
Yeah,
Love
it
that.
was just fabulous. I mean, it's the big point was you are literally never going to get everything done. So you need to focus your precious time on the things that are the most important and the most value additive for your life. And when you can accept that, everything gets easier because you are no longer feeling like I need to do more, or you stop saying to yourself, "Oh, well, when things slow down," because spoiler alert, life doesn't slow down, it just speeds up and things move
Mm.
more quickly and more stuff comes on your plate. But again, it's like it's up to you to say, "You know what? No, that's just not important to me. I can't
Hmm.
give my energy to that because I'm giving my energy to this." And once you accept those trade offs and that you're literally never going to get it all done, like honestly, things feel so much lighter.
I love it. Today's the day. Don't
Mm-hmm.
sleep on it. And also make time to sleep.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, final spoiler alert here is the 4,000 Weeks. I also read that. I love that book. That is
Mm-hmm.
really near and dear to my heart and also deeply impactful and like changed my, mindset. Um, 4,000 Weeks, the title is an exclamation of how the average lifespan is just 4,000 weeks. That's it. So what are you going to do with yours?
Yeah. Yeah, that was eye opening as well. I think he said that's to the age of 80. If you live to 80, you get 4,000 weeks, which is bananas when you actually think about it. So, anyway, check out that book if you haven't. It was very impactful for both Janae and myself. And if that's not incentive enough to read it, then I don't know what is.
I mean, come on. If you read it, let us know too. We'd love to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
other
Drop a
people's thoughts on
comment.
it. We're
Yes.
in an
And if
echo
you
chamber of we
enjoyed,
love it. Maybe we'll
yes.
get Oliver Berkman to make an appearance with Big Bad Marketing one day.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this podcast, if you took something away from this, if you feel like you are now capable of being less overwhelmed and more in control of running your business, be sure that you like and subscribe so you don't miss a future episode of the Big Bad Marketing Podcast.
Hey, and if not, maybe one of these days we're going to have an episode where at least if you can't be overwhelmed, you can laugh about it.
There you go. Thank you for
Sense
listening.
of humor. Thanks for listening, y'all.